Hi all. In this today's session, how to do a load testing of .NET Web API using K6 grafana open source tool. So as we seen earlier, so we have demonstrated and seen and ran the load test with using K6 tool, and have seen the dashboard results said and created different kind of tests like test and spike and load test, web test kind of stuff. So now in this session, so how can we test a .NET API using K6 store? So basically, we need to create a web API using a .NET CLI command, and then run through a .NET CLI command, and then test that using K6 store. So these are the things we are going to demonstrate in this session. Let's quickly get into this and see like how to do that. I'm just sharing my screen. So this is my folder here. So I'm just going to create a folder here. Let me create a folder called web API. So enter this folder. I'm going to create the .NET Web API. So let me go get into that folder, right? So there is a command called .NET. So web API and demo API, right? So let's give a name called demo API. So when you give this command .NET new web API minus n demo API, it is going to create a folder called demo API and a web API folder. Now get see that. So web API and there's web API. Let me see that. So here you have a controller. So by default, .NET is going to give a default controller with weather forecast endpoint here. So this is something having a string here, read-only string, which containing the kind of temperatures status like freezing, racing, chilly, cool, mild, etc. And even you can add it anything you wanted to add here. Say like summer, so hot, like so. This is something globally. I mean, static read-only string which containing array of values here. And this is a constructor where it is having a global variable called logger, and this is an endpoint. So of type get, so HTTP get, and this is the name of endpoint here. So you can omit this get and post and attach kind of HTTP webs before the action part here, the endpoint name, and you're only looking at this weather forecast. So now, simply when you run this, I'm going to run this. So let me do this. So yes, please, and just build this application .NET.build so that it will build my thing. Sorry, so we have to get into that. So cd demo API. This is a folder we create, right? And with this we have controllers and everything. Now .NET.build so that it will start building my newly created API. So it was built successfully. No warnings and no errors so far. So now can I'll run now .NET run so that it will start running of my API, and it will tell you to browse some URL here. So now listening my API on this port number, and just get this and go to your browser here and just browse it with weather forecast. Uh, Now you'll see that kind of stuff it is giving here top, five values it is giving like no 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because that's what the logic it is having it inside of this no endpoint like no it is getting through one of 1 to 5 no values from here in this, and it is going to give it and the JSON format. So let me add my string here. mm, Summer. Okay, let's put this and let's start running this, and now try to run this so that it will automatically build your API and it includes the latest changes. Okay, and go back to your endpoint, just browse it. So now it is taking random values. So now it has taken so hot and mild, scorching, and scorching 2 times and scorching 3 times. Why? And go back to here and see that. Okay. Mm, Let me do that. 25 values it is taking, and it is coming here and it's giving results. So leave over whatever results it is giving. So basically, this is a get function have been written here. So let me add one more, function here, like which is of post. So what I want to do is I'm just copying this and paste it. I'll just change this to a post and this endpoint name as well post, and this I'm just saying post, right? Or you can say get of you know uh, body, or get one, whatever. This method can be in material, and you can give any name here. And basically, I mean, expecting some string from this post request. So if required, we'll pass it. Otherwise, you can just omit that. So just again build this .NET build, right? And then it started builder and successfully built and clear that, and again run this application. So you'll see that uh, it is running on 5287 port, same port number, and it's running this. Now the get method is working fine. And to do test the post method, I think you have to get through some filter or postman here, post request. Just send this. Yeah, the suppose request also working for me because same action logic I put it in the post method as well. So for the get and post, it is working fine. And if you wanted to put some values instead of a post request, you want to pass it to your endpoint. So that also you can pass through body, like form it or draw. And you can go when there's an HTML string, so you wanted to give it. Okay. So in material, because I'm not accepting or taking this variable value here. So if you wanted to take that variable, so you again what you do is you need to change that. Just close this, and again you define it here. Whatever string JSON string JSON value, right? And again you just build this. So it will succeed it almost, yeah. And then started running that. So go back to your postman and try to view this and just send it. So it will again give you the values here because I'm just sending JSON, and it will accept as part of this object. Okay, it is different topic again, purely and getting into this API. So I just have a controller. I just have a name of API here, demo API, which is having get and post methods, right? I'm just closing this. So my API was running now, so I can hear that because I'm going to another thing, and I think even can check that using code. So it is giving me response here, right? Now what I'm going to try here is I'm going to write an K6 script here as like so we have taken part of other YouTube URLs and other URLs here. So we'll think of integrating that into you know uh, into K6 script. So I'm just writing. I think we have to close this and coming out and okay. The K6. I'm going to create a folder here. API test.js. So again, as mentioned, importing HTTP from K6 HTTP and import sweep from K6. Fine. And again, export let options we want to declare it, or else export default, right? You can write here function, right? Get of URL, in my case, weather forecast, and keeping my think time is 1 second here, like using sleep. Then So now here, I think I'm going to specify as again uh, virtual user count as one or duration again uh, 1 second or 2 second you can give it, and then just run through basics run API test.js. Then it start executing your K6 script here. Okay, so it is something it's trying to finding the URLs duplicated feature. Okay, okay. Mm-hmm. It's fine. I think give these two options as well. So that way I think you can see that. Right? Now let's specify 6 has no scheme. What is that? Yeah. I'll run that. So it will start executing the script. You can see here, like the what one virtual user you have mentioned it here, but five users you have mentioned. So 1 second. So every 1 second it is taking break. Totally iterations of 6 taken, right? So virtual users one, max user five. Iterations of six. So now, if you wanted to run a batch kind of stuff here, so I'm going to define constant, web URL or something. So in my case, this is my URL, right? I'm just giving this my URL, and instead of keeping this stuff, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take batch, right? Here, I'm going to define the batch statements. Get right here, and I think dollar of URL, right? And here slash and what was the endpoint? This is available forecast that you can directly give it here. And here you say post, right? And you can do a same thing here as well. Okay. So now done. So this was done. Yeah. That it's going to problem. The kept this is right. Using the go to having it. Okay. This slash fine. And this also is accepting single quotes. Problem. And this is give it. Now it is done. So going back to your this thing terminal and try to run this K6 run API test so that it will start running of your batch process of your two requests. So gracefully 30 seconds. So it has been executed both requests here. So thing is 5 iterations, virtual is 5 and max is 5. So earlier if you can see that it is showing one user. If you look at here, it has that. Okay, yes. So now you can see that max and minimum 5 requests are processed because we have given 2 requests with the get and post. So nothing is like the get request and post request have been successfully processed and given stats here because there is no failure request here. So right now I wanted to check that whether this get request is properly processed or not, and at the same time my post request is properly posted. No, having processed or not, right? So to do that, I think we have to define some rules there. So I think this batch always having get request. So don't mention that post request here. Sorry for that. So this only works for batch is only get, nothing less. enable that, and let's do this. Let's post request and see. Okay, let me do that. What is happening? I think the post request you must have to validate. So we have to pass some value, right? Data equal to. I think we must pass some value here. Okay. Say ID is the exam. Data is good. Okay. Post. Check that. Post request. Data. Mhm. So no, still it is having problem. Constant. Default source to okay. I think to do this, I think we have to define a scenario-based kind of stuff. I think it's not possible with this because it was constant virtual v by default it is taking. So we must have defined scenarios as like you mentioned in scenarios as like this. We must specify the scenarios and then we run this. So, however, so this is something we run through .NET API, right? So we have been just created with API, and then we have just written some scripts here, and then invoke my API here, and then it's uh, executed for one second duration with the 5 virtual users. So that way it is running my script and showcase the stats here. I hope you understand like how to check the API using K6 load testing. Now in the next section we'll see like how to validate the response came from a API or endpoint is success or failure. Okay, we'll see that in the next section. Thanks for listening to this video. Please subscribe to the channel for more videos. Thank you.